Dear students, so today we will discuss mock final exam preparations. As I have already sent you the structure and the contents of the final exam, but we will discuss for those who could not like comprehend that what will be in the final exam. So let's see what I have written for you. Since you know that your exam will be on 14 Jan 2023, 2 p.m. sharp at lab 09. Okay, so it's there will be two kind of questions. One is like closed book. So the first section, section number one, is this one is a closed book in which you will have MCQs and matching questions. So 15 MCQs would be there and five matching question would be there, right? So I will show you that what kind of MCQs could be expected in the exam and what kind of matching question would be expected in the exam, right? So since this final exam is comprehensive, just go through, skim through all the slides. Might be some of the slides would be depending on the previous midterm slide as well. So I would highly recommend to go through all the slide, but you can focus more on chapter 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? And you can skip those some of the like advanced topics which I skipped during my class. So calculations would be there, concepts would be tested that whether the concepts are clear or no. Calculation would be done, for example, how to calculate, like for example, supports for like a priori algorithm or like confidence level or probabilities or conditional probabilities and figure description. So this kind of like questions would be coming in that one. So each question MCQ has a 1 mark, total are 20 marks, and time is 30 seconds, 30 minutes, and total marks would be 20, right? So I just open you for sample that what kind of question would be there. So as I told you that it will start from chapter 4. So let's start with the chapter 4, like ANN. I will give you some like pick some of the examples from the different chapters, and we will see that what kind of questions are expected. Okay, so when you are studying it, so you need to study like a bit like cleverly, so that like because you don't need to memorize that much, but you need to understand the concepts, right? Some of the sentences might be you need to understand like definitions. So definitions, like it's better to memorize, because sometimes in filling the blanks you might be asked to fill the blanks, like uh, for example, like this one, the first one, a complex nonlinear function can be learned as a composition of simple processing units. So this is very simple. This is not expected to come, but like might be I like I like skip this one, nonlinear function. So nonlinear function would be given as an MCQ, right? Okay. Second, for example, this thing, for example, like if you go to the next step like calculation. So what kind of calculation is expected? Let's suppose, okay, so here I'm looking for some interesting calculations or some definitions. Okay. Here, like for example, yeah, this is interesting. Let's suppose, for example, I give you this like four different figures. Let's suppose, right? In matching question, for example, this line would be a linear function as it's very similar, right? This kind of curve would be a sigmoid function. So you need to match like this concept, then the words with the diagram, right? This is tangent end function, so that could be like similar like this one. It would be in the plus and minus both, and this like discrete function would be like a sine function. So you just need to know like about this one. Rest of the formulas will not be asked, because this is already like this is you need to understand the formula. You don't need to memorize the formulas. Okay, so moreover, this is just like there is no such that much, but just like small like RLU, like in the last slide there was some like kind of abbreviations. You can go for it. Might be there is few abbreviations coming for you. Okay, so in this one, yeah, this could be like, for example, this is a good example, overfitting. So if I give you this diagram, so you need to connect with this overfitting. If I give this kind of diagram, so this will be underfitting, right? Similarly, with this diagram, you can also like, see how, what kind of question can be made from it, right? So yeah, the calculation, for example, like, for example, how this begging example is done, right? Okay. And then you can go also for boosting if I have done this in the class, so you can also expect it. Okay, so this is like the normal one. Okay, Let's go to the imbalanced classes. And this could be like because there are some like formulas. Okay, you can expect some of the formulas here, like this one, accuracy, how to find accuracy, how to find like precisions, recall, like some data would be given, and then you need to find it, and the options will be given to you. So as you did in the midterm. So there is less chances that this kind of question would come, but it's better to like go through it and like have an idea about it, right? So this one is like also you can see over here, there is like how what kind of KNN is clustering. So most of the questions could coming from the clustering outlier. So whenever I talk about cluster, so there could be like some examples from the outlier as well, right? Okay, naive base, as I told you, this is most probably like most on the conditional probability. So you need to grasp what is conditional probability, how to find that one. So there could be an example, like I give you some probabilities or some examples, and you need to find that one. So this we did rigorously in the class, and some of the students participated well in that one. Okay, so go through this one. This is very important. Rule based as well, rule based as well, that because sometimes rules guided you to give you some like more prediction and more work, right? So just like some this tree would be given, you need to like there would be something missing in it, and you need to say whether it's like for example, whether it's like C for example, you need to know about it. SVM support vector machine is also a very interesting thing, and in that one, you could be asked, like for example, matching question. This is very good candidate for matching question because there are a lot of diagrams and definitions. I think there is could be like one, two, two definition. What is SVM, and the question could be based on that one as well. Okay. Uh, Basic association problem, yeah. So basic association problem, yeah, for because we practice a lot on the big diaper bear examples and how to find this support and all these things. So you can go for this one. Yeah, for the advanced one you can like skip it because we did not cover that in the class. Okay, because it's like a little bit, you can say, master level. Okay, but just for information, if you want to go through it, so that's fine. Okay. Basic cluster analysis, yeah. So basic cluster analysis. So this is linked one. So outliers and some like this. These kind of questions could be in a MCQs, like, or matching questions is better. Like a definition of fuzzy logic. What is the definition? And density based definition, or like or k-means clustering. Anomalies, yeah, anomalies are very like important topic in data mining. So I think better to focus on this one, different types of anomalies, right? Certain equations, most probably I don't bring equations because it's like you don't remember the equation. It's a closed book, so I don't prefer the equations more. But the concept, I would focus more on the concept, right? And the false discoveries are important, that why people do false discovery and their results are not reliable. Just I think here theoretical question could be there, right? So this is like the basics, just you can go on the basic because we already covered in the midterm. So might be there is not that much question from that one, but just for your preference, I would say that you just cover that one. Okay. Yeah, the second part is an open book. So you can see in the open book what we are supposed to do. There will be 5 questions in the open book, and coding. I'm expecting coding from you is a skill base. Okay, you can use any LLM and ChatGPT, Google Bot, Claude, whatever you want to use. It's open for you. Okay, you will be one of the question will be to test a Python. I will give you some wrong code and you need to like correct it, right? You can take help if you're good in coding, you can fix it by yourself, or you just there is an easy way, just like put the wrong code here and it will correct for you. So that is the one trip for you. And then debugging would be there. Okay, question related to debugging, 4 question related to writing code for data mining algorithm. Yeah, so this could be like I can ask you, for example, I can give you some data. I will give you some data, like for example, apply, for example, like image data to display result, for example. Yeah, for example, I want like for example some Python code to display me some like data sets, right? So here, but you need to specify that a Python code for image retrieval, let's suppose. Okay, so because this will give you some code which you can like retrieve the images. So that one I will give you a data set. The data set I'm not going to show you now. You can use any data set, and this is a very simple code, like you can use the simple code for it, right? So that could be easily done. Okay, second thing is like for example, if I say you can apply some like for example ANN algorithm on data set. Okay, so mostly data set I usually get it from like Kaggle, okay, or git hub, right? You can test different like data set over here. uh, the next thing could be like yeah, for example some of the code like some like unknown, or maybe you did not like have some unseen question, like LSTM is one of the algorithm for time series. Okay, so code for like time series, this one. Okay, so you need to know that you need to study about LSTM and some other like long short term memory, or different kinds of sequential modeling. You can go for ANN. Okay, you can study a UNN code, Python code. But the challenge would be just you need to connect these code, like for the NN code. Moreover, I can give you some my previous lecture which I did for the recorded for my previous students. You can also check in on my YouTube channel. That will also help you out that how I generated the code for ANN and different algorithms. Okay, so these would be like some of the questions, and I hope that it would be like easy. Outliers, yeah, one of the question could be based on the outliers. If I give you some kind of data, and then you can like find what are the outliers and to write the code. So this portion is fully like full of Python, right? So debugging the Python code and writing the code, that is the like, so you don't need to refer back to the slides for this section. You just need to focus on your Python skills and search different codes. Okay, search different codes on the Kaggle, search different codes on the git hub, like store it for yourself. Okay, so tomorrow when you are coming from the to the class, so all the codes, like for example whatever algorithms you find, just put the codes in one folder for yourself. So when any data set I give you, you just need to connect the code. So just you need to connect the data, connect the data with the Python code, right? So that would be like mostly the challenging part, and you have to do this thing. So I hope you understand the concept of all this thing, and best of luck for your tomorrow exam, and best wishes. See you in the next exam.